party. So we are very happy to have you with us today. There's a lot going on here, so hopefully we can get to a talk and have refreshments, and there's crafting over there and all kinds of things. So without further ado, Thailand Moon is our educational leader here, and
Yes.
we're so happy to have you talk.
I appreciate both Barb and Rita for bringing this stuff together. Just a quick overview. We have some activities like a matching game. We have some resources, some references, some exhibits, some source material. We have zines as well. My mom makes bracelets, so please check her out. And then, some information about the girl party. Yep.
Want to give a little background or something?
Oh yeah, I'm going to get into testimonies on the next slide. So a little bit about me. I work at Teach Go Greens, the only nonprofit, let me backtrack. It's a nonprofit in Milwaukee, catered around teaching Milwaukee's youth about entrepreneurship, education, leadership skills. We offer internships, apprenticeships, and hopefully coordinator roles in the future, or warm handoffs. The nonprofit Teens Go Greens acquired Weber's Greenhouse back in 2018, and it's the only nonprofit garden center here in Milwaukee. I seed start, I transplant, I run our compost program. We have events for both fall and summer. Right now we are closed until April, around there, April, May. I started out in the program in 2019 as an intern. I was on board for 2 years, did an outreach position for a year, and right now I'm a greenhouse coordinator, so yeah. So before we get into the nitty gritty, I just want to have some quick disclaimers. I am an enthusiast. I'm not an expert yet. I am in school, so please try to avoid private property, known areas that don't have pesticide use and things like that. When trying new things, please be cautious, do small portions first. Some people may be allergic. We'll get into more compounds later, so please keep that in mind. Some allergic compounds are like oxalic acid, some, I forget how to pronounce these names, but like raphids is one of those things where think pineapples, think kiwi. It's after you keep eating it for a certain amount of time, it starts irritating the soft tissue. Look at my notes. Fluorinoculins it's a photoactive compound, kind of like what you see in parsnip. Again, parsnips, if it's reacted to sun, it can cause rashes and things like that. And then pyrrolizidine alkaloids can cause liver problems. So these are some compounds you should watch out for. They are found in smaller or large amounts in plant material. So we can get more into that later.
Excuse me, if you talk this way, sound is terrible in this room, so if you talk out this way, it might help better.
Good.
Okay.
So I just want to do a brief overview about plants, just so that we're all familiar. Typically the above portion above the soil is the shoots. Shoots are sometimes used interchangeably with seedling, and I consider a shoot anything less than 2 inches. But in your shoot system, you have the stem, you have the leaves, you have the fruit, you have the female and male flower parts. I also want to point out this attachment from leaf to stem is called a petiole. That's important because sometimes, depending on the edibility of a plant, you can eat the petiole as well. Below the shoot is the root system, and I want to point this out because this is a taproot. It grows straight down, it's usually thick, but there are many different types of roots. There are rhizomous roots, there are stolons, there are tubers, potatoes, obviously, so that's important as well. What we'll be seeing mostly today is tap roots and mostly fibrous roots. So yeah. Yeah, so to get started, Canada Thistle. Before I even get into that, I kind of want to break down the scientific nomenclature associated with Argente. You might be wondering, okay, like, why is the A small? Well, that's because actually they call it the specific epithet, and then 13 is the genus, and together makes the species. So, Argente, yeah, in case you're wondering. A quick overview, Canada Thistle is actually not native to Canada. It was one of the first plants once brought over by, pre-colonial era. It quickly spread to Canada, and that's why it's called Canada Thistle, but it's not native there. Yeah, so quick distinctions. It's a perennial. It spreads via rhizomes and wind as well. It has pink flowers, but it kind of has like a tapered brush tip, if you will. A lot of people consider, it a weed. It is a weed, but it also helps with a lot of the wildlife. I did landscaping for this customer at Weber's. Her name's Lucy, and she gets in trouble a lot because her yard is kind of created in a way that's natural, and she typically lets like native plants, maybe even a Canada thistle, to like the leaves and fluff spread everywhere for the finches and the birds. Some of its uses are, you can use the tips to be cooked, especially the young shoots, to be sauteed, yeah, all that jazz. It's native to Europe and Asia, and it's on Minnesota's noxious weed list, which means they really do not want this plant anywhere. I believe it's restricted on Wisconsin's DNR list, so again, they don't really want the spread of, like if we wouldn't grow this in a greenhouse, obviously. There's anything else? Interesting thing, inner buds taste like artichoke, but it's not really worth processing. It's a lot of small flowers, so if you're curious, you like artichoke. Yeah, so I just want to show you, what the plant looks like. This is what I mean when it's rhizomatous. It's like a straight line, and it's typically why weeds like these are harder to get to versus a stolon. I believe strawberries are stolon roots, where the roots are above the soil, so it's easy to capture. That and mint as well, I believe, is a stolon. So yeah, roots are on the ground. You might be thinking like, okay, they have spines. Surprisingly, younger shoots actually are not pointy. So I wouldn't, I would take something to scrape off the spines, but if you've ever been around a Canada thistle when it's younger, it's not pointy. Once it's over that like 2-inch mark.
Can you point to the part that you can eat?
So yeah, it's like this. The smaller shoots you can use in saute, and then you can take the roots as well. And then the artichoke flowers are cookies. That tastes like artichoke, so yeah. Alright, so lamb's quarter, interesting. Chinopodium album, the reason why I have it in brackets is because it's a very hybridized species, to the point that you won't, you usually won't find the root, so they kind of just go by the general, the genus name. It is an annual, and it spreads via wind and seed dispersal. Its leaves resemble that of a goose fruit, and its nodes have kind of a red tinge to it. Again, used for food for finches and songbirds. You can gather the leaves in autumn, and it does taste like spinach. What really makes this plant distinct is the white meal granules, is what they call it. It's at the tip of the plant, it's very light colored and it kind of fuzzy as well. Interesting thing, its plants can produce 75,000 seeds, which is why, it can get good weedy. But yeah, related to spinach, tastes like spinach. I personally have not had it. I have I did collect a jar of seeds that I left at home, but you can process it and make flour. So, is there anything else? Is this it? Yep. So you can kind of see it, but these white needle granules are kind of there. Kind of loose leaves, and you can take both the leaves and the seeds and utilize them. Wait, I can't even say here. I was going to switch it up. I forgot. I'm being recorded. Okay, so burdock, Arctium lapa. So, okay, the interesting thing about this plant, there is great burdock, which is Arctium lapa, and then there's common burdock, which is Arctium minus. You're typically going to see both. The only difference is that one is bigger and one is smaller, which means that the properties that you find in Arctium minus is diminished than in Arctium lapa. But they are a monocarpic perennial, which means they will set flower once within a given year, but produce more roots to make it a perennial, if that makes sense. So they're only flower once, but then what makes them a perennial is that the root system will continue to do the growing. Has a lot of basal leaves. Some people have said it resembles that of rhubarb. I kind of see that. Yeah, but you can peel back the shoots and the roots and the petioles as well and cook them in a stew. It's been said that the poultice, which is a type of ointment you can make, can treat eczema. I personally think it looks like comfrey, which is another thing I'm going to talk about in a bit. Just want to see if I have any more notes. Just to briefly clarify monocarpic, it means that they live for many years before flowering, before setting flowers. So this is what it looks like. You can kind of see that it looks like cannabidiol. The only difference I would say is that the flowers are more round. And I kind of want to read this excerpt from this book called Biocivilizations. I recommend to read. It says, Velcro was invented by a Swiss engineer named George de Mestral when he noticed that any time he went walking in the Alps with his dog, both he and his dog returned home with the burdock seeds stuck to them. Being a curious engineer, de Mestral examined the seeds under a microscope and saw they had numerous hooks that grabbed into the fibers of his socks and his dog's fur. So yeah, Velcro was inspired by burdock. It's pretty cool.
The one that I brought back there, that burdock is kind of like that.
Yeah, that's okay.
What kind is that? Is that the?
Based off, the size of it, I would say probably great burdock. They both, have the same properties, it's just one smaller.
So in the notes it said that the leaves are bitter, so they're not poisonous, but they're not.
Yeah,
they don't taste good, so you usually use them.
I would leave the leaves alone. I think there's more research that can be done because sometimes bitter means healthy, But yeah. So comfrey, symptom officinale. Just a brief note on the officinale. Anytime you see that, it usually means there's a medicinal property. Think lavender. Its epithet is officinale. So that's, if you ever see that word around, it's like, oh, okay, it might have a medicinal property to it. Comfrey, like I mentioned earlier, has that same veiny basal leaf structure, kind of like the burdock and the cannabidiol. Rosette, it has like wing-like leaves as well. There is garden appeal to this. Comfrey is actually a plant that we sell at the greenhouse. You can add like a focal point, and it has purple to blue flowers that you can, add add some charm to your garden. I forget what it's called, but a lot of people use comfrey. When you take a shower, you kind of hang the flower or the plant. I forget what it's called, but you can use comfrey for that. You can use it in stews. There's been reports that it can be used to heal wounds faster as well. And this is where the pyrrolizidine component comes in. If it's eaten in large amounts, it can be harmful to your liver. I haven't seen like exact measurements, so I would probably assume like maybe 1 cup a week. And yeah, just closely monitor if you're going to be consuming comfrey. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. You see the winged leaves, very veiny. Another thing I want to mention is that its roots are very dark, like murky, kind of different from like a dandelion or a burdock. So yeah, if you were confused, like you dig it up, like okay, this is comfrey because the roots is so dark. All right, purslane, Portoloca oleracea, is related to moss roses, but that's Portoloca grandifloria. If you know, you know. It's a trailing annual. It's very succulent, spatulate leaves. And the interesting thing about this plant is it is high in oxalic acid, and there's a relationship between oxalic acid and malic acid that gives it its sour taste. So if you were going to process this, it has a slight tangy flavor. A lot of wildlife, especially chipmunks, use this to refresh themselves in the summer. So you might catch that, or you might be wondering like, hey, what's the chipmunk doing? He's probably rehydrating. So yeah, quick thing about oxalic acid. Some people may react to it differently. Barb has mentioned it's made her very hyper. You might have stomach issues. This is one of the plants where you want to eat slowly and see what happens. Notes. It's been said that it's been cultivated over 4,000 years ago, so I think that's pretty cool.
You can find it at Mexican grocery stores.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there you have it. Yep. So they don't need pollinators. I think they're wind pollinated, but they do rely on pollinators. You see the yellow stem here, the orange stem, spatulate, succulent leaves. Very small, seeds below. Alright, dandelion. The poster child. The poster child, I mean, of the leaf, Paracticum officinalis in that personality really brings home that it might be medicinal. Perennial taproot, there is a display over there. With this plant, there is sometimes third or smooth, so you might be a little confused with the plant that has meaning. Why is it such a different structure? But it's the same thing. Highly utilized, you can make the wine, the leaves, or the flowers, you can make a garnish salad, you can make jelly, teas, all that jazz. Even pickled roots. I've never tried it before, but I think it'll be good. It's a milky latex structure. You're cutting it can cause allergic reaction to some people. High in iron, a lot of vitamins, things of that nature. It is also part of the daisy family, so sunflowers, Shasta daisies, all that. So this was what it looks like. The white flowers of a dandelion is called the pappus. If you were curious, but you can see how sometimes the leaves are some are highly serrated, which means they're just edged in a lot, and some are minuscule. So that's it. If you have any questions, we have, I don't know when the next Green Party meeting and Garden Committee meeting is, but I don't know.
You wanna take that one up?
Those are all good questions. The next Green Party meeting is the first Saturday in December, so that would be what?
December
Sixth?
6th.
Sixth, December sixth. And it's probably gonna be at Casa Blanca.
I set up a
Set up a
library
library?
for it. It's at Atkinson right now, but I might move it to East because, the Stanford piece is at Locust and Humboldt.
The next garden committee, did you say that's the first Thursday of next month? It's a good question. And now 19 to 28 South 56.
But you had a
Oh.
question?
Do you know, is it still illegal to pick edibles on public land in Walker County?
I'm not sure. I have heard stories.
I've been arrested. So
Oh, you know.
I assume it's still is.
Yeah.
But that's from
In the
between.
county it is, I know. I don't know about the city, but I know.
Yeah.
Oh, county parks. You were in the county park.
Yeah, in a county park, yeah.
I think you'd be okay.
Did they unarrest you, or I'm just curious?
Well, I mean.
It was like a warning?
Long story short, they looked in my bag, I had more trash. And so they actually let us go, and not only that, are you filming this?
Well, this is the Q&A.
This is on Walking Urban Foragers. They actually told us, they're like, oh, if you people are picking up trash, we stop patrolling close to sunset. And you came back with that, basically saying, we're not gonna bust you again, but,
So you were not arrested, you were warned.
well, they got our IDs. I'm sure.
Oh
we had
no,
some
arrested,
flyers or
you'd have to
something.
be in front of the DA or something.
What were you foraging for? Morels? Oh, wow.
This is all on Walking Urban Foragers. Yeah, we had about a pound each. I had a bunch of guys. I know you're going, I would have ran
Oh.
or biked away, but I had.
Yeah. I guess, are you gonna edit this before?
Well, this is all on Walking Urban Foragers.
Oh, that's cool.
2023.
So I got a question. So you had that diagram of one of the plants and it looked like they all had a common root.
And that's,
So
yeah.
what do you call that phenomenon? That's a pretty bizarre phenomenon. How big can that complex of plants be?
I'm not sure what the phenomenon is called, but it happens a lot. I don't know if you've heard of the pando in Utah, but it's a bunch of Clayton aspen that are they're all it's like one big mass. I forget what.
I think it's the largest organism in the world.
Yes, and they're all connected via the same root system. So it's something that happens in nature. I personally don't know what the phenomenon is called.
Right. Yeah, I don't. Do they? You talked about the male and female thing. I think you can get some peppers that are male and peppers that are female, and seedless grapes are. I mean, there are, like, literally produce can either be male or female,
Yeah,
which is
especially
pretty.
with the rise of like GMO and things like that. A lot of people hear it and think like, oh, it's immediately bad, but it has saved a lot of our crops. Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to get the seedless grapes or the feminized plants. So yeah, what you're talking about is like monoecious or dioecious when it comes to female and male plants. Monoecious meaning that both female and male are on the same plant. Dioecious meaning that it needs both a female and a male.
And are there any that don't have sex, so to speak, and just there's some sort of phenomena like that where they just reproduce without any kind of, so that the genome doesn't really change.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any plants are, recreating asexually, but
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that's interesting research. I'm trying to think.
It's all right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got one more question. I'm a black thumb, I can kill anything. I should change that theme, I suppose. But anyhow, I see sort of waves of plants, different weeds, coming through my backyard from year to year, and you know, I haven't gotten fined ever yet, but I sort of let the grass grow longer so that the weeds can come up a little bit. But I find that interesting, and sometimes it'll be 2 or 3 years a certain flowering weed will come through, and then the next couple of years it's something different.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that phenomena and what
I'm
is that?
thinking it's probably, you know, with the changes and the weather, you know, maybe a bird dropped the seeds this way or that way, but it's also seed viability. I think I talked a little bit about it in here, but like there are seeds that can be.
It almost seems like weather, like, and I think if gardeners were all talking to each other, they might say, oh yeah, this year we have XYZ
Yeah.
weed, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Do you have any idea what causes dandelions to grow so little or what's their disease?
No, I don't. I feel like it's kind of just random, but who knows? Like, we might find out that that's an indicator for like, oh, winter is going to get harsh. So, yeah.
Isn't there, there's a couple different species of dandelion too, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Maybe some false lookalikes.
A lot of different kinds of lamb's quarters.
Yeah.
All different leaf shapes.
Different species. So.
Activity?
I just had a couple things to say about oxalic acid since that's something that was shared. So in my adventures in foraging, I've learned a little bit about what it is. It's not a poison, it's an anti-nutrient. So the reason that plants have this is that it helps to keep predators away, as far as I have read. And what we have it in all of our leafy greens. The one with the most oxalic acid in it is spinach, and then a lot of these wild plants, they have 10 times or more in them. So you take out the acid by cooking it out, but then if you drink the cooked water, so if you made a tea out of it, then you're drinking the straight oxalic acid. And people, you want to get rid of that if you're, even with like, think about if you're made to make a kale tea or spinach tea, to drink that is more of the acid. So that's why people kind of get rid of that and they eat the plant after that.
So if you steam kale, yeah, I drink sometimes so I shouldn't be drinking that. Okay.
If you have like kidney problems and stuff like that, you want to have lower oxalic acid in your diet. For a lot of people, if you're young and healthy, you're probably going to be fine. You'd have to eat so much of these plants to have like a real negative effect. But if you were to like just distill it down, like make a huge batch of some kind of a tea with a wild green, then you could have a lot more than you had realized than actually just eating the plant itself. So that's what I've been learning about it. Lamb's quarter is very much like spinach, which is why I made a spinach dip with spinach, because lamb's quarter is kind of out of season in late November. But I did bring I dried the lamb's quarter for people to see as well.
Well, can I follow up? So, yeah, I've tried to stay away from oxalic acid, and I've seen pictures. It can crystallize, and when it crystallizes, it's got very sharp edges, and it's supposed to be pretty bad. You know, people can have really bad reactions. I don't think it is good for you. So, I mean, a little bit, okay, but yeah, I try to stay away from it.
There's actually a reason for why we cook things the way we do. So you'll see so many dishes with green vegetables, the green leaves, you'll see that they have cheese and milk products. They'll have a tomato sauce. They'll have things that complement. So because the oxalic acid removes your calcium, it binds to, and so you don't have that calcium anymore. Putting that back in
Gotcha.
can help
Okay.
it out.
Right.
Sour cream and borscht.
Yeah, the sour cream and borscht, any kind of vitamin C too, it boosts the properties of your greens, and so that's also helpful.
It's really
Right.
good to know what oxalic acid feels like on your tongue.
Yeah.
Which I eat things like skunk cabbage, or to tell the difference between Jack and pulpit and ginseng. A lot of people get them confused, but Jack and pulpit berries have so much oxalic acid, it's so sharp on your tongue. You don't really. But ginseng, $1,000 per root. There's not much ginseng around it. For the natives.
I'm just wondering what anybody knows about catnip, since I brought some catnip plants. If anybody's used it, I only used it for my cat, she loves it. But I've never made a tea or anything.
Yeah, I drink the tea all the time. It mellows you out. Sleepy time. It's a mint. It's in the mint family. So.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Smoothies. Yeah, I use it in smoothies.
Makes sense.
Good for cats, good for humans.
Do you want to talk about your activity or?
Oh yeah, so we have a matching game here. We kind of had to pivot depending, based on the capacity. So there's two different areas. You guys, 4 is how to match. So like you would match all the things of a daddy line. Chicken name, what you can use it for, things like that. Probably have. Or you can like have two people go at the same time and time stuff and flip it over. Yeah, if you want to, you don't have to. Yeah, Weber's. Read it. Nice. Nice. When did you go this year?
To Ebert's.
Okay.
He's giving these away. Yeah. This would help definitely with that. Also in there.
Yeah. I'm gonna chew it first.
Yeah, he's giving away the seeds too.
You know, I discovered Concord grapes in
Yeah.
the alley. It's just so
In your
good.
alley?
It's just off of someone's garage.
Oh, no
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah. I know a few places to get stuff. Along the lake, there's raspberries and some other stuff. I found these people collecting these leaves, and I was asking them about it, and they were Asian. It was like, you get your own. It's like, go, these are, it's a public park, but it was like, oh, okay, and they have these big bags, you know, full of it. I think they were great leaves. You know.
Okay, I know you can. I don't know if you need all of them. I guess those
Yeah,
ones.
I think I went home and looked it up, and people will use that almost like a sand, you know, the wrap stuff in it.
Yeah, I've seen like Middle Easterners do like rice and stuff wrapped in grape leaves.
Okay.
Or sometimes meat. It always looked good. I just never tried it.
Yeah.
I don't know if like edible grapes or anything.
Well, you know, those Concord grapes, they had seeds, but it was just such a, well, part of it is they're free, you know. Oh, and the other one is, do you know the Seminary Woods? Do you know where that is?
Off the top of my head, yeah, I don't like that.
Well, okay, along a lake, well, we're on Oklahoma, so you took Oklahoma all the way to the lake, and you just parked there, and then you walked 2 blocks south along that drive. There's this big classic opening, you know, that looks like something out of a movie, and a big long road that goes to this building that looks like it was built around the Civil War. Beautiful seminary, and then right to the south of that, the Seminary Woods. There's a tree there that's literally about from here to that doorknob in diameter. I mean, it's like a virgin. Yeah, it's huge.
The last one in the state.
Yeah, it might be some virgin timber, but you know, like, I'm trying to remember what the hell my point was, but
Yeah, they're good edibles.
well, also I think there's like there's some dangerous things. Like I think I may have gotten something on my ankle. It's just I got a fever a couple days, and it was right in beautiful June.
Poison somewhere, you'll find that. Don't ever realize.
Yeah, and I know there's some other edible stuff there, but that was, yeah. I'll think of it in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Or I
Hey,
will.
by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I'm Tom.
Tom.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, so do you want to talk about the war thing? I am to be just you and me, and then maybe some guy from somewhere else. But I go to ZOW, and it's the last Wednesday of the month. I'm trying to get that End of Wars committee meeting going again.
Oh,
You know, so I do it in person, and actually, if you did want to come in online, I set it up so you could come in on Jitsi. But you know, to get something like that to work, you really need one person to kind of make a few phone calls, another person to throw together a skeleton agenda. People like to have agendas. I don't necessarily care. Yeah, and then one person to do the technology, right? So I'm doing. I don't have. There's nobody that seems to. Babette tries to show up. I got a guy in Door County that was really interesting. Former cartoonist for a decent-sized newspaper. It's really interesting. And then, Steve Watrous, and Art Heiser will come in on Zoom sometimes, but yeah, I just haven't put a lot of energy into it.
yeah, it's hard for me to make regular meetings because especially on weekdays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays especially, because there's so much going on.
Oh yeah. For
It's
me,
like-
it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, but Wednesdays are pretty.
Yeah, any Tuesday of the week, there's like 6 different meetings I'm invited to. These were but just one suggestion, when you do the presentation again, show the pictures first before you come in.